Critical Role Recap Season 2, Episode 30. So last week's episode ended with the Mighty Nein finally taking down the Iron Shepherds and being reunited with their three friends who had been stolen. Yasha, Ford, and Jester have been returned to the Mighty Nein. This week's episode picked up where the last week's left off, moved back in time just slightly so we could have the reunion scene as Travis and Laura had finally returned to the table and hopefully are there to stay. Ashley Johnson, however, is still away, so Yasha was still unconscious for the entire episode for the most part, and then she kind of took off. Ashley Birch is no longer with us, and so Keg, after having her little tryst with Bo, finally snuck off, not so sneakily, and is gone for now. So the Mighty Nein have returned to just the core crew of cast members. So like I said, they jump back in time slightly from where the previous week ended off in order to have their little reunion scene where Jester and Ford find out the terrible news about Molly's death. There is no combat at any point in this episode. It is very much kind of a cleanup episode from all the previous stuff that has been going on, and we are moving forward to their new tasks because they've now completed their gentleman tasks, and all that's left to do is for them to bring Ophelia back to the gentleman, which they do pretty uneventfully. They all travel together on the road. She brings along a couple of carriages, and the Mighty Nein do end up taking the enchanted wagon that the slavers had been using that has a permanent enchantment on it that makes it appear as if the contents of the wagon are just normal trade goods, but in reality you can put anything inside that wagon, and from an outward exterior you wouldn't know what's in there. You would only see the illusion, you can't see the internal belongings. So Jester and Knot spent most of their time in there flipping people off and having dance parties that no one else could see. They did stop briefly at Molly's gravesite. It was untouched. His coat still hung on the marker that they had placed there, and there was a moment for everyone to say their final goodbyes, and Yasha, piloted by Matt, took off, just kind of wandered off to take time. She woke up from her magical unconsciousness, saw the grave, paid her respects, and kind of wandered off into the distance towards a gathering storm. So we have another RP reason for why Yasha is not going to be around for a bit, but also an easy excuse for her to come back and join them at any time, as she has done in the past, as Matt has continued to use this device to account for the fact that Ashley is touch and go with her availability. Oh, I forgot to mention, so they also investigated the stronghold of the Iron Shepherds, and they did manage to find what seems to be a bag of holding, and so they now have a much larger satchel than the haversack that Jester had made that can hold up to a lot more than what Jester's can hold. Inside of that satchel, they found a letter that was basically saying that someone had been paid and was sent to retrieve the cloven crystal, which there is a drawing of on the letter, and Ford realizes that it is none other than the object that he placed inside his chest, the cat's eye looking spherical crystal that had a cleave down the center of it. Basically, they learned that there are people interested in it and that know of its existence, but Ford has no idea how he could possibly begin to retrieve it from inside himself, and I don't think he's exactly looking to get rid of it anyway. Other than that, they also found some money in there, about 100 platinum, and they found a silver tongue potion and some sort of gem that can summon I think a fire elemental, some sort of fire creature that can be summoned using the gem. I'm not sure if it's a one-time use thing or how it works exactly, but so they have some new toys at their disposal now. So they made their way with Ophelia to Zadash and then met up with the gentleman, who was very pleased with their progress. He found out about Molly's death and gave them a little extra bonus. They ended up getting nearly 7,000 gold pieces in total for all the jobs they completed and the bonus for Molly's death, which was 500 gold. They also introduced the new member of their team, Caduceus Clay, to the gentleman, who then insisted that he get a vial of blood from Mr. Clay, which Mr. Clay did give up. The gentleman then basically thanked them for their services and kind of just sent them on their way and said, if you need anything, let me know. And if I need anything, I'll let you know. So he doesn't have a current job for them at the moment, and they're kind of free to do whatever they want. The Mighty Nein have some drinks to celebrate and remember Molly and get up to their usual antics. And that's basically where the episode kind of ends, kind of peters out. Matt mentioned that during the week he wanted the players to be thinking about if there were any specific tasks that they want to accomplish over the next couple of weeks maybe, because it looks like he's going to have a little bit of downtime for the party. A couple of weeks that Matt is going to skip over in the narrative because not much is happening in order to lead them to the next objective, to the next big thing that's happening in the campaign, whatever that may be. They also all advanced to level 6 after defeating Lorenzo, so everyone is now bumped up a level. We've got some more health and some more abilities. Caleb learned a new spell that he can use to create a sphere, a little safe camping ground that no one else can enter, that they can use to keep themselves comfortable and safe when traveling out on the road. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Not a ton happened this episode. They did finally get all of their earnings, and they picked up a few new goodies. And then next episode is going to start up with them going over what they've been doing for the past couple of weeks, basically, so a little bit of jumping around in time. So we'll kind of skip over all the shopping occurrences. There probably will be a scene with Pumat's soul, though, for some of the shopping, maybe, and we'll see how that goes. We'll pick up next week with a couple of weeks of downtime where they've all spent their gold and finally rested and fully recuperated from all of the excitement, and we'll see where this story is headed next. But yeah, that's about it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.